All right, back again. We're about a day out from when we started the video. So for you, this will be no time at all. For me, it's been a bit. The server maintenance, as has been the case lately, took a while. So I'm going to take this deck out into the ladder, unchanged from the original construction. See how we do. So, all right. So let's see what kind of opponents we wind up with here. So again, the idea for the deck, ramp, protect-ish combo. All right, so we have 2 land, a protector, 2 ramps, 1 part of our combo. So we'll keep this. Start off with our tap land. Then we'll go into Dryad. Hopefully it doesn't get killed. We'll follow up with probably nothing because we need to ramp. So that's one of the problems with these particular ramp. Yep, so we just killed it straight up. These ramp spells require the dryads, they require you to spend on top to actually get the ramp effect. So let's try to grab a mountain here. Hopefully they don't flunk this one. So Rakdos colors face up. They could be running Grixis and we haven't seen it yet. The blue for Grixis. Alright. We could get our combo out, but they're close. They have 4 mana. They're pretty close to just doing something like getting Goldspan out. Divide by 0 won't solve the problem, but it would. Okay. So if we do this, now they've sacrificed the creature. They're not going to get the treasure. They won't be able to use that divide by 0. Aha. that's an impressive victory. So what happened? I misspoke. Deadly Dispute. So when we use the divide by 0 on the Deadly Dispute, they've already sacrificed the creature as part of the casting cost. So Deadly Dispute requires you to sacrifice a creature or artifact as part of the cost of the spell. So when they did that and we returned it to their hand, in this case, this was a very good play for us because they've already sacrificed something of value. The Deadly Dispute doesn't have a chance to create a treasure because the spell is going back to their hand. So they're not getting a treasure back. They have no more creatures in play. They don't have another way to cast that immediately. So unless they cast another creature or bring a treasure out, the Deadly Dispute is stuck in their hand now. So they don't get the card draw, treasure, nothing. So if they had a Goldspan, likely, in hand, now it's trapped there. So that was very good for us. And then, as you could see, it got a scoop from the opponent. So definitely not what the deck is designed for from a win perspective, but a win is a win. All right, let's take another run here. So this is what I'm talking about when I say read your cards, pay attention to what's going on, be aware of the state of the game. If they had had the extra treasure, divide by 0 there may still have been an appropriate action because it would have forced them to sacrifice their other treasure, making them effectively mana neutral on that play. Um, but in this case, that gave us a massive advantage from what they were trying to accomplish. All right, so this one we have 4 land. There's a lot of land, but they're all in hand. That's not necessarily helpful for us. Cosima, not bad. Mergent sequence, we'll try it. Mulligans in this can be difficult because our top end is so top end. And some of the other matches I've just played, oof, I sometimes will mulligan and just wind up with like 3 icebreakers in my starting hand, and then you're just kind of stuck. There's really nothing you're gonna do. All right, blue. We'll get a mountain. The good news is there's probably no way they can really directly kill that. The bad news is they're gonna beat the crap out of us pretty quickly with what they have on board already. So I would say they're probably gonna take Cosima. I'd be surprised if they take the divide. Yeah, that makes sense. So in this case, divide, if I bounce Elite Spellbinder, then they're going to get another shot at us. If I bounce the Monk, that's a little helpful. If I bounce the Paladin class, they haven't buffed it yet, so that's really not much loss for them. Cosima, however, now she's very expensive, kind of prohibitively so. So for now, we can pass. This will be more expensive, but we can afford it. So what we can do is, if we need to, we can do a chump block bounce kind of thing. We lose our mountain if we do it that way, but we'll see what happens. Okay, then there's that. Yeah, we'll. That was the wrong way to do that. I should have done that differently. We'll take a containment breach. What I should have done is bounce the monk. So Kabira would have only done 1 damage to the land creature. That would have been stuck in hand, and then they would have to choose between which of those to play. And I would have only taken. They probably would have played Cold Spell, take 4 instead of 7. That was not a correct sequence for me. All right, we don't really have a choice here, unfortunately. Let's see if they'll block or take this. All right, sneak in with the. Oh, that was. All the misplays. All the misplays. Wow. Need more coffee. That's what it is. Oh no. Oof. We are not doing very good right now. Yikes. Right. Obviously we will block here. Yep. Oh boy. Not looking too good for us. Alright, we will play Cosima for the body. And then if they cannot remove either creature at best we are at 1. But they can with the Kafira, so we're pretty much just dead. That's what it is. So we're going to concede. Move on to the next. We have lost. Okay. Pay attention. What I was just saying. Pay attention. I wasn't paying attention. Lost focus. Misplayed. Don't know if it ultimately cost the game, but it certainly sped up our demise. And if you can't laugh at yourself, then you need to have more fun. I don't know. Okay, 3 land. All right, icebreaker. Okay, we have 2 parts of our combo. This is the first time I've had these 2 parts of the combo this early, so that's nice. We'll keep this. Hey, we even have a red mana. This is unprecedented in my matches with this deck. It wants to show off, I believe. Okay, mono green. This will be tough. All right. So we will do our ramp. What I was contemplating was actually playing the Omen Kill side of this and chump sacking it into the Werewolf Pack Leader. But that really doesn't gain us anything on the game here, and we really want to get ahead in our mana ramp game, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to stick to plan. All right, so we should play our tap land to get it out of the way. The thing about playing Cosima here is if they already have 2 snow covered, so we're gonna play our Neverwinter. They already have 2 snow covered. If they have a 3rd and drop that, and then almost always have Blizzard Brawl or something like that, she just dies, and that was useless. So I'm gonna hold on to Cosima. You gotta try to think about what your opponent is likely to have. And even if they don't, it will help you play conservatively. Sometimes that will be to your detriment. Other times, that's what you need to do to win the game. Okay, or ramp. Yep. Get another blue out. Alright, so we're just gonna go for our Kraken. Don't really have a reason not to. It's really big. Even if they buff their guy, their mammoth here, they'd have to play land, inscription to make it 7, then Blizzard Brawl on top of that. So play land, making it 5/5. Inscription of Abundance with 2 counters, make it a 7/7. Then Blizzard Brawl, fight to give it a +1 to attack, and make it indestructible. That's pretty much the only way that they'd be able to kill that right straight up. Sure. Block. Of course. So the Toski setup in these decks is very nice. It lets them have an indestructible target to just dump counters on, and then unless you have an exile effect or some way to, yeah, see, this is what I was talking about. Okay, so that's another way to approach it. Very nice for the opponent. Smart. Okay, we'll bring out Kosuma. Play land. Emergent sequence. Grab island. For every move you make, your opponent's making moves also. You have to try to anticipate, but you're never going to be perfect. No one's perfect, and no play is going to be perfect. So do the best you can. Blocking there was really no reason not to. The indications they were giving didn't give away their plan. If they had dropped the land first, that might have hinted as to what they were planning. But this opponent is very smart the way that they played that. They held the land back to keep the mammoth small. So our brain is thinking, okay, it's a small target. Even if they do what I was talking about, play this and play that and make it bigger, then that can take down our Kraken. But they didn't play the land, so our brain is discounting that as an option. They pump up the Ranger class, swing in with Toski. Okay, yeah, block it. And then they play a land. Uh-oh. So for every move we're making, they're making moves too. They're thinking, they're planning, they're strategizing. So it's this dance, this balancing act that we're all doing. Always pay attention. Every little thing matters. Okay, they have no open mana, so a situation similar to what just happened. And it looks like they might have disconnected at least temporarily here. We will exile her and see what we drew. Nothing, so that's not exactly helpful. Play that out, drop a land. Oh. We'll let her get a counter. It's possible that our opponent has just lost connection at this point. So that's a win is a win, but it's not a way you want to get them. However, it seems like they're certainly on board now. All right. Solid. Okay, so if we were to block the werewolf, they're gonna pump that and make it trample anyway, so that wouldn't really be very effective for us. This is already trampling. Okay, well that answers that anyway. Sure. And that's that. All right, we will do one more, and then we will take it back to the deck. This time we will play properly. Four, 2 ramp and an icebreaker. So this is one of the things kind of early in the video I was talking about that's difficult for this deck. There's not a lot in the deck. There's really land, ramp, and that's pretty much it. So there's no real card draw. There's not a ton of interactive things. So on, like, if we mulligan, which I don't think we really need to. The icebreaker, if we get a little ramp rolling, is actually pretty strong. And then maybe with field trip we can get 2 field trips, we can get something else kind of rolling. But if we were to mulligan there, it's basically the same kind of hand that you would just get. Shambling Ghast. They... Right, so if we were to tap out, they could just kill that and we would lose our ramp, so we'll pass the turn instead. They may attack in and see if we'll bluff into an attack. They did not, which is fine. Right, so the problem here with field trip is it will bring the land into play tapped, and then we're kind of stuck here. So we're going to pass again. I didn't sacrifice to get the land on the last turn because I want to try to do this if they... So usually they would attack in when they move for that play. So I was going to leave our little friend up there for a block attempt, then using that block, do our divide by 0 trick and rob them of the additional treasure and the card draw. At least up front, right? So now they have to spend mana in their normal turn. They have to go effectively neutral on that treasure. So that's good for us. Alright, we will field trip. Grab a land. This time, let's grab Conjuration, because we can hunt up another part of our combo that way. Swing in with our little Dryad friend. We'll leave these up so we can sack it on the end of their turn. So this is likely Poison the Cup that they have foretold here.
You require my aid.
Okay. Those are nice and strong. Okay, we have an awful lot of land, but just now the double blue. Another field trip, I think. Just keep ramping. Ramp, ramp, ramp. Ramp our heads off. Let's go with Containment Breach. Wouldn't really help us here. Fractal Summoning. Then we're gonna Conjuration here, see if we can dig up... Wow, that's unfortunate. I was hoping we could dig up the Jadzi and then we'd have 2 of the 3 parts of our combo ready. No such luck. Okay, that's kind of good for us, because now we can bring down a Kraken even if they kill it. Ooh, Okay, or we could just do that instead. Much better. So they're going to be running blood in the snow. They may just blood after this. We'll see. Okay, interesting.
We will slay our enemies.
So they're getting card draw here, but they just did also damage themselves quite a bit.
I return to the abyss. And I, the generous one.
Alright, and we could make a fractal, but it would only be a 2/2, so it can't take out the faceless, and that's a total waste to me. I wouldn't do that unless we were under enormous life pressure, which we're not. It's not worth it. Okay.
I will get what I
That's fine for us. Okay, now we're starting to get a little further along towards where we want to go. However, not perfect. We run it up like that. The Cosima will help a little bit. See if we can draw out a Blood in the Snow. I'd rather not need to bounce land yet and give up kind of that aspect of what we're doing. And I'm kind of okay if they just kill all this stuff and get back even another wealth. That's all right. Okay. Onyx. That's not ideal for sure.
Sorry, haven't heard that name before.
The good news is next turn we can cast an icebreaker that will trigger the draw from this. So we're going to draw into a few things. All right. Let's pitch. I guess the sequence. It's the one that makes the most sense. Yeah. Interesting to do it at that particular moment. So the problem is if we play into creatures, we are likely to get blooded next turn, and then we will be totally messed up. So we're not gonna play into that too hard. And if they blood, we can bounce our icebreaker if we want to.
A gift.
So then we have 2 in hand. Okay, Sedgemoor. Yeah. Interesting deck from the opponent. It's a little bit different than the atypical mono black snow control. It's okay if we lose that. At this point, they went down on Onyx. Okay. Bouncing it, we could have done that. We have one in hand, two more in the deck.
We will slay our enemies.
At this point, that's probably not going to help us too much,
Aren't I generous?
and we don't. So the main advantage a normal Simic list has over what we're running right here is Cyclone Summoner, which we do not have. So we can't bounce their board, which would just get rid of these tokens and force them to start over with some relatively expensive stuff. So we don't really have a good answer for their board, no matter what we do at this point. If we cast something like Jadzi, it's very expensive. We're left with 3 mana. We can make a 1/1 fractal. Great. It's not very good. So we can trot out Cosima. We can trot out another Icebreaker. And then just sit there and see what we run into with the opponent next. Okay, so they're just going for Magecraft triggers and making an army at this point. Yeah. They got it. That plum.
I do what I demand.
Yep. Good job, opponent. Nice. So that's an effective combo. So the problem with that match was we had no real answer for what they were doing. A couple of divide by zeros are not going to really help us there. And if we take a look at our deck in general, so we do have Battle of Frost and Fire, but it's like the first act of this is to deal damage, right? So it's effectively a sweeper, and that is generally helpful. But that type of deck is going to be recursion based also. So they're gonna have Blood in the Snow in there, White Snow based. They're gonna be able to rebuild that board very rapidly as they did in that game, and we can't cope with that very well. We only have 4 answers to a runaway board. We only drew one of them. So the original question from the folks on Discord, is the deck ladder worthy? In the original form, I don't believe so. Even if you play that perfectly, the draws are so strange. There's as you can see from the games in general, the opponents, the types of decks you're going to go up against, there's really nothing you can do about them. By the time you get to a point where you could combo, you're pretty much dead anyway. So I do not believe that the deck in that version, or with pretty much any of the ramp options that exist right now, ramp shells, in the card pool, are suitable for making that deck competitive. That particular idea. There are certainly competitive ramp decks, but to do that combo in a ramp way currently, I don't think it's possible. To have fun with it, yeah, you can have fun with it. When it goes off, we weren't able to do that here. When it goes off, it's pretty funny, but that's rare. It's very rare. Even when you're, again, playing it perfectly, you have to be insanely fast, and usually the opponent has to stumble a couple times to get you to a point where you can get the loop more than once. So that's the deck. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe. If you like the video, thumbs up. And wherever you are, have an excellent day. Thanks. Catch you next time.